Welcome back into the stream, everyone. We are here with our first streamed game of fall 2025 here for C3.
Woo!
I'm Somber. Along with me to kick things off tonight is Colson. First and foremost, Colson, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Happy to be back. I was able to cast, fortunately enough, for C3 last year, and I'm really, really glad to be back. We got some exciting games going on today, and I'll pass it over to you. What do you think about them?
I mean, we got a 1 versus 2, UNC Charlotte going up against Winthrop. I know there's some contention about Winthrop coming in as the 2 seed here to kick off fall, but I mean, they had an impressive summer. I know in other leagues during CCS, I don't know if you keep up with them, but Winthrop did take a big win over UNC Charlotte during their season's national championship bracket. So they have some results behind them to kind of back and justify a number 2 seed coming in for fall. And they got quite the tough roster with Tech, Phantom, and Nakari. I know Nakari can be a pop-off player at time. Phantom looked great over the summer. Now that they're knocking off some more of that rust and kind of on the uptrend, I see why they're this high ranked, but it's going to be quite the test against UNC Charlotte, who has been a three-peat champion here for C3. They've been absolutely stellar. So I'm excited to be back for the fall. I'm excited for this matchup. It's going to be an absolute banger to kick things off.
So am I. I mean, last year I was watching Charlotte. I think they've won every single trophy in this league, if I'm not mistaken. So much of the chagrin of someone else. But I'm most excited for, no bias, I swear, NC State and UNC. That is an exciting matchup for me. Again, I'll try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. But there's a new roster coming in for NC State, and I'm really, really excited to see if they can prove themselves on the pitch today.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to be neglected is the Clemson UNCW matchup. I know Nate is going to hope for some birthday buff there, but we got quite the slate in store for us here tonight and kicking things off with UNC Charlotte and Winthrop. It looks like they're ready to hit the pitch. So, I mean, without further ado, let's get this fall semester started here for C3 2025. Kicking things off, the Niners of Charlotte versus Winthrop Esports. Let's go ahead and kick things off.
Here we go. Pretty even kickoff, but a great kickoff from Tech. Good response. A demo comes out, and Daniel is a world champion. What a great name coming out from the Charlotte guys. But early pressure coming in from Winthrop onto the Charlotte backline, able to keep the ball and constant pressure in their half.
UNC Charlotte going to be tested on defense early here as we continue to play in the blue half of the pitch for Winthrop. Going to be low resources. Going to be an opportunity for UNC Charlotte to go ahead and leak out. Will be a team pinch to the backboard. It might be Bala able to get that one back mid. We'll be going once more to the infield pass. Lazy all the way back. Going to take their time, grab some boost, take this one up the sidewall. Tech with a nice challenge. It's going to be Nakari following that one up. Bala back down to the ground. Nice touch from Nakari, but it's right into the hands of Knight. Going to be able to find that one downfield. Back and forth so far in this opening minute. See if we might be able to find a touch leading into a dangerous opportunity. Maybe Winthrop, one more touch to the backboard. Lazy, nice save, able to clear it through, get it over to Knight as well. But again, Winthrop doing well to get these touches to maintain pressure here in the Charlotte half.
I mean, absolutely. You look at Charlotte and that Charlotte and Winthrop 1-2. It seems, as it goes off the post, it seems like Winthrop is standing up to that number 2 ranking. It might be going for number 1 if they're able to keep up this pace of play. Although, as we know with Charlotte and as we've seen in the past, they get the pressure on you. And once they have it, it's really, really tough to pry it back from their hands.
Yeah, it's going to be a really big if here for Winthrop because we also know Charlotte is a team can start off slow but get things rolling and just absolutely dominate with their pressure as the series goes on. And you know, even in a game where they might drop game 1 and they don't look the best, they'll lock back in for those next 3 straight and make it a quick 4-game series. But still no offense to be had from either side. That's going to be a big pinch all the way down, but Bala with a full tank of boost and a nice read off the ceiling. Playing it back down, Tech. Nice early challenge back down on the ground. Lazy to pick up the slack. Take to the skies for one more touch. Not able to get the reset. It is going to float dangerously in. Got a little bit of an AFK from Knight there in the Winthrop net. Turns this into a 2v3. Going to be handled well. We do have a Knight dropping connection here. So the 2v3 continues, but UNC Charlotte handling it well.
Yeah, surely that's not a Tech issue. I think that Knight just really has a lot of faith in his teammates. And so far, they're holding up on that 2v3 pretty well as Knight joins back in. He just had to take a quick water break. No biggie. Grease the axles, get everything back into the game. Right and orderly. Knight, as I say that, hops back in, immediately puts one on target. Pressure is coming out for Charlotte. Could be open, but a good save from Phantom. Lazy's able to keep that back in, but is demoed for the price of that.
Back out of the corner, low boost. Just going to wrap this one around and find a touchdown the pitch. Balla, free flip touch, not able to maintain possession through it. Phantom flick, going to be on target, but a great save coming out from Lazy. They had their savior in game one here and still scoreless as we enter the final 2 minutes of play in our kickoff game for the fall season here for C3. And it's going to be Charlotte still on the attack. Balla, crazy pre-jump from the midfield, going to find themselves back down to the corner and a good 50 out. Knight is waiting in the wings. A little bit late to that ball, but finds the demo. Going to clear some space for Lazy. Big time pinch. Going to be Nakari. Fakes the touch. Phantom down below. Now on a dribble play of their own. Great midfield challenge there by Knight. Going to turn back, grab some boost, find one more. Tech, not the best touch. Balla going to get bumped by Nakari. Lazy going to put this one up to the backboard. Going to be Balla from the skies down to Lazy. They connect. And finally, the stalemate is broken and Charlotte comes out on top.
I mean, wow, great play coming out from Charlotte. Like we were mentioning earlier, that pressure that they bring towards Winthrop is really hard to break unless they put it through. Now we're back even. Nice kickoff for everyone. It looks like it's going Charlotte's way. They have a little bit of boost. Pressure is immediately back on the Winthrop half. And Lacey was up, but unfortunately beans that one right off the post. Winthrop struggling a little bit here. It's really awkward. Bar down and in. Knight putting another away. Took his quick water break, came back and slotted one in the net. Charlotte up 2-0.
This is what Charlotte knows how to do best, right? Is turn up late game. You finally get the go-ahead goal. You put a second in for safety as you hit that 60-second warning here for game number one. And it comes courtesy of Knight, able to come in and make a great play off that bar down and finds the second touch through the follow-through. But immediate response from Winthrop off the kickoff. Gonna be Phantom. Grabs that big boost, has a free clear lane. Arsenal reset down and fakes the pinch. Ends up turning it into a pop. Late reaction on the goal line. And this lead cut down 2-1 here. Under a minute to go.
I think Phantom heard us talking, giving a little glaze over to Charlotte and said, hold on, don't forget about me, and absolutely peaks on the Charlotte defense. Berger low boost, but is able to force it right over to Tech. Hopefully he controls it well and is able to get it out, which he does. Lazy passing over to Knight, could be a shot opportunity, puts it high, just keeping a little pressure, trying to get Winthrop to waste some boost. Pressure is still on. Balla going up. It's put away into the corner safely for his teammate.
Tech with a good 50 out. Phantom finds the read, but the shot gonna find the crossbar, and the ping rings out with an extra salt on the wound there. Could have been the equalizing goal in game one for Winthrop. Phantom gonna chain dash their way around, but Lazy a little bit faster to the punch. Gonna be Nakari demoed out the midfield. Final 10 seconds. Winthrop need to find a way to drive the length of the pitch, or gonna be Charlotte putting a dagger in for game number one. Gonna be Nakari downfield. Good touch from Phantom. They have a lane. They have the dribble. Gonna be Nakari looking for the bump off the backboard. Tech bumped off the read. And UNC Charlotte, despite the 2-0 scoreline with a minute left, they barely squeaked this one out. And it is going to be an absolute banger to kick off game number one. And UNC Charlotte starting off how they left last season in the spring in winning fashion.
I mean, that's what I really wanted to see from this first game. We know that UNC Charlotte is the reigning champion and given that number one spot, but Winthrop is number two and they're looking good. Maybe their footing isn't as solid as they wanted it to be in game one, but towards the end, they had a quick response and able to bring it 2-1. I think if Winthrop is able to bring what they brought in that last minute to Charlotte in the first 4 minutes of the game and in the next remaining games, I think we could have a really good series on our hands, and I hope it goes the distance.
Yeah, I mean, UNC Charlotte definitely looked shook with the early pressure from Winthrop. It was just they kind of started to reclaim that land little by little, started to establish the midfield a little bit better. And I mean, you talk about pressure. It was UNC Charlotte with 11 shots on target. It's tough to win games when you're allowing that much to be in dangerous territory around your own net. So again, I agree. If Winthrop's able to show up and put a little bit more pressure on the Charlotte net like they did in that final minute and kind of extend that throughout the game, we got a much tighter contest. But now heading into game number two, we got UNC Charlotte kicking things off with a win, looking to put this one on triple match point, but Winthrop still trying to fight through the series.
Yeah, you saw Phantom go for the play that they used earlier to get the opening goal for Winthrop. There is a little bit of space opening up for Winthrop, and I think they're going to have to rely on those solo plays. They're going to have to rely on one teammate to beat two. As I say that, Charlotte's passing play almost comes to fruition, but unfortunately, no goal comes out for them. Pass one, pass two, net is open. Where's the third defender? Phantom is able to put that one bottom left, slow roller past the entire Charlotte defense.
Who got 2 to go on that final cut. Phantom slicing and dicing up the defense on that dribble play. We saw them almost do it on 000s to wrap up game number 1, and they start this one in the opening 32 seconds with a phenomenal dribble goal. But gonna be Knight off the kickoff, looking to respond quickly here, but Winthrop gonna be able to deal with that handedly. Maybe Phantom to the backboard. Lazy touchdown. Nakari almost got the read. Heck, going to be just beat out, but a long clear. Going to provide some time and space here for Phantom. Going to play it past 150 against 2 in the corner. Lazy already up on the read. Flip reset. Not much boost. Going to play it back down and put a quick flick on target. Knight with the rebound off the backboard once more. Ball out of the corner for a second touch, but Winthrop smothering on the defense. Now looking for the counter. Flip reset low by Phantom will not be good. Tech narrow angle sets up Nakari, but Knight comes in and plays spoiler to that counter.
Yeah, counterattack's looking good for Winthrop. I mean, the only thing you could ask for is it to be in the back of the net, but other than that, they look really good, really composed, not folding under the Charlotte pressure like they did in game 1. As I say that, they get even more pressure onto Charlotte with the demo coming out by Tech. Phantom loves to go low on those, loves to get a little arsenal reset and keep going it low. Berger around one could be open. What a save coming out from Knight. Balla to Lazy, one-on-one. I think Lazy does well to get it out, buy some time for his teammates to get some boost.
Balla up to the backboard. Nakari low boost. Will not find the touch. Tech gonna opt to grab that corner and look to play some defense. A little bit of a 50-50 on the goal line. Knight gonna try to keep it alive here in the orange corner, and then Balla to carry over the play. Looking for the backboard once more. Phantom back out to Tech. Who's late on the 50. Able to get a quick beat, was Lazy and put a shot on target. Doesn't register as much of a threat here for Winthrop as they're able to establish a little bit of a midfield presence and keep that one in Charlotte territory for now. We do find ourselves back with Charlotte looking for a possession. Infield pass again at the midfield. Tech going to be able to find a 50 off the missed touch. Right back into the hands of Phantom. Back down towards mid. Lazy already there. Plenty of boost to work with. Takes it over one. Trying to float it in, but great patience on the backboard from Tech. We're still up here for Winthrop 1-0, but Charlotte unrelenting, but the defense too good from Winthrop.
An unlikely miss coming out from Phantom right there. It's one that we don't really see often. One of the things I'm starting to notice is Winthrop is starting to get a little more space in that midfield, and they're utilizing it well. They're passing to one another, and I said at the beginning they're going to need to rely on their solo plays, but it seems like their pressure is starting to get to Charlotte, something I was not really expecting. Normally, Charlotte is able to handle that pressure really, really well, and right now it looks like Winthrop just has the edge on them. It's nothing too crazy as the score is still 1-0, but as I say that, a pass goes down. Berger, top right. Oh man, Winthrop really putting it to Charlotte now. 2-0 in game 2.
Charlotte is a team very used to playing with space. They get a lot of respect in the lobby, and I think that the mindset of Winthrop right now is, hey, we're only one spot behind them. Respect is earned, not given. They got to show us why they need that space, why we need to be cautious of what types of moves they're going to make. These corner challenges are just insane coming out from Winthrop. They're just going for the ball, and they're coming out victorious on these 50-50s and leading to some great plays down the field. Maybe Ball is still with this one. It's still dangerous. Knight able to snipe that one through. And a reversal of the scoreline. Similar situation that Winthrop was in, but UNC Charlotte has had the ice in the past. Can they get this one back into favorable territory? Winthrop's still in the lead here, but UNC Charlotte finally take that donut off the board.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning of the stream, Charlotte tends to crawl and claw their way back into each game that they're in, and it will be important for Winthrop not to let that pressure get to their heads, and their Tech is dealing with that pressure particularly well. Knight is able to respawn on it. They just got to keep challenging. They can't let Charlotte get that mid control. As we've seen, they're so deadly with their passing plays in years past, and even in this series so far. Ball goes up, could be an awkward read, but Knight does well to put it away into the corner. Tech gets it over one, but is demoed for his effort, but it does not matter. Berger is able to slice that one directly into the net. 3-1 in game 2 for Winthrop.
Tech gave their life so they could get the assist. Knight was going in thinking that Tech wasn't going to be able to find that little pop off the lip of the side wall, and Tech was able to find that before getting demoed. Led to a wide open net for Winthrop, and now they get that cushion back. Under a minute to go, 40 seconds on the clock. Tech gonna look for one more off the passing play. Phantom to sink it, and it's gonna be an all-out attack off the kickoff here for Winthrop, and they find a fourth.
This is exactly what I was looking for Winthrop to do. A fantastic response from them. 2-1 losing game 1, 4-1 up against Charlotte in game 2. This is the 1-2 matchup to watch. This is exactly what I was hoping for as Winthrop tries to make it 5-1, and Charlotte looks to try to get one for the road. Something to boost their spirits, which they almost do, but it is saved away by Phantom.
Another great 50 on the follow-up shot. They do not want to give UNC Charlotte any type of momentum, as you know, momentum is one heck of a thing. You give them an inch, they'll take it a mile in game 3, but utter dominance coming out from late game Winthrop to put this one on ice against UNC Charlotte. It looked like a close game with about a minute left, and then Winthrop just absolutely dominated as we get some horse dashes coming out from Lazy, as they're just going to say, GG, let's go to the next one. We got an equal series, turning this one into a best of 3. Winthrop, again, like you said, showing that number 2 seed and why they are here and why this is our first streamed matchup of the fall. Absolute masterclass in a bounce back game here for Winthrop.
If Winthrop's able to keep this up, they could have a really strong argument for rank 1, not just rank 2. Goal differential right now, they're up 2. They've scored 5, and Charlotte owned 3. It's just unfortunate for Charlotte, but as we know, they will come back with a vengeance. You saw at the end of the game, there were a couple horse dashes coming out. There was a psycho attempt. There was a skim attempt mid. They were just trying to get that confidence a little bit higher for their game 3 against Winthrop, and I'm honestly not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean UNC Charlotte again. They're a team that they ride the high and they can win out the close ones and they play with that momentum. So being able to make a late game push against UNC Charlotte, kind of put them on their heels in game 1, then come out in game 2 and do the same to UNC Charlotte and come out kind of on the better side of the score line. That's quite the feat to do. And again, this is a team that in recent results has taken down UNC Charlotte. It's a tough task to do so, and it's kind of an accolade to put under your belt to just say that you took down one of the best teams, not just here in the Carolinas, but nationally as well. Charlotte, you know, they touched top 16 success nationally with CRL, so we'll get to see what Winthrop's able to bring back to game 3. But I expect UNC Charlotte to play a little bit quicker here, play with a little bit more anticipation of these early goes from the Winthrop defense, as that's what really killed them in the long run, was the counterattacks and able to intercept these passing lanes. Charlotte needs to rely a little bit more on their solo play efforts and find the space once more for these infield passes that they love to do so. Winthrop, on the other hand, just keep doing what you're doing. Early go. Don't give them space. Don't give them time to breathe, and just give UNC Charlotte a little bit of a taste of their own medicine and see if you can take this one 2-1.
I completely agree. I mean, as we say that, Charlotte is able to get that pressure back on, but Winthrop is doing well to keep that pressure squarely away in the corner. A missed touch coming out from Bala, and that should give Phantom a little, but he passes it right back to Lazy. Those panic touches that they were dealing with so well earlier in the first 2 games are coming back to bite them as Knight passes it up to Lazy. It is 1-0. Charlotte strikes back in game 3.
Nakari on that backboard trying to guard the upper 90. Couldn't find the touch, and Lazy's going to punish. That's 1-0 now in the opening minute for Charlotte, and a big time bounce back after being held to only 1 goal. You've already equaled that total from last game. Now it's time to build. Lazy off the kickoff. One more touch needed. Almost found the narrow angle, but a great save to pin that one against your own post with Tech for Winthrop. Lazy, no boost, just going to go early, force a touch, maybe get this one in an awkward position. Nakari will play patient on that sidewall. Big clear downfield from Bala. Looking for Lazy. This is a dangerous duo to connect. Doesn't find it back mid. Knight going to look for a challenge. Put some pressure on Tech. Force that back mid. Nakari waiting to receive back at the midfield. Lazy going to take this one all the way back. Top up the boost. But again, Winthrop early. Doesn't matter the boost totals. They're going to be going on these balls in the corner for Charlotte and just trying to establish some kind of presence here in their half. They've been able to do so successfully. Able to try to find some possession here once more. Nakari puts a shot on target. Knight able to deal with that one fairly easily for Knight's standards. And Nakari goes once more looking for another 50. And again, just rotate through the corners. Try to find something back mid. Another whifty 50. And a good turn here from Nakari to keep this one alive in Charlotte territory.
I mean, the reason we're seeing those 50-50s is because Winthrop and Charlotte are keeping up with one another. They have very similar speeds, and it's showing. Right now, it's going to really depend on who's able to keep their cool in these high-pressure scenarios, who's able to not panic when they don't touch the ball and will be able to respond well to it. So far, that was the reason that Winthrop gave up their first goal in this series and gives up a second. Unfortunate for them, but Knight is able to put it 2-0 up in Game 3.
These are plays you love seeing from Knight, just sticking with the play. Landed kind of in the right time, right place, right? But you stick with it. You don't immediately half flip out of there and think, oh, the shot's off. I need to rotate out because someone else is gonna crash in, right? No, just stick with it. Keep your head down and find a good play down the pitch. And now into the second half of this Game 3, Charlotte find a little bit of a cushion. Gonna be Winthrop putting on a little bit of pressure, forcing the double commit out from Charlotte. Bala, good 50 out. Knight already up, low resources. Just gonna find a soft touch and a redirect downfield. Knight back with another 50. Looking to force one more. Forces Nakari up that side wall. They look to go back mid. Lazy pre-jumps it. Phantom gonna be a little bit awkward here for the defense, but Knight able to play that one over the top. Might have an open shooting lane. Double jump pass over and bang. That one is good for Bala. Draw it up, knock it down. Charlotte finds a third.
Charlotte heard me talking about Winthrop's response in Game 2, and now they're like, hold on, Colson. Look at us in Game 3 up 3-0. A little bit of an overcommit out from Winthrop, not enough boost to get back to the ball, and that is all it takes for a team the caliber of Charlotte. You give them that one tiny mistake, and they will punish you for it every single time. Bala able to pinch that one out mid for Lazy, who's already up. Knight should follow, but low resources. Maybe trying to get it mid. Beats one, does well, but it's put safely back into the corner for Bala, where he has a full tank of boost and plans to use all of it. Almost. Knight could be awkward, but no one is there to follow up with a strong, hello! Not a strong shot, but it doesn't matter if you're going to put it into your own net. Winthrop, like I said earlier, the panic is starting to set in. They are not doing well. Unfortunate you get bumped into it, but still, you want to see a little bit better from them. 4-0 Charlotte.
Yeah, this is looking messy here for Winthrop. Maybe playing a little bit too big for their britches here in Game 3. Thought that the commanding win would grant them some leeway, but UNC Charlotte responding well. This might be the first. Lazy gives it right back to them on a little bit of an own goal as well. They end up pinching that one off their own goal line and back into the net, but this is a quality shot put on from Nakari. Lazy, we see time and time again, they're able to make that play, but just not the right initial first touch, end up following it through on your flip right back in. But a total reversal of last game's scoreline, but we still got a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock and a favorable kickoff for Charlotte. Bala, soft touch to follow it up. Can't find the recovery. Phantom to the sidewall. B Bala once more, just happy to bleed time here in the orange half. Knight doing the same, maybe one more, but the pre-flip shot will fall its way into the corner.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you were Bala, I bet you wish you had that one back, but maybe not, as it's 4-1 with 45 seconds left in Game 3. It seems like a sealed deal at this point, and now if you're Winthrop, you want one back just like that. A great passing play from Phantom and Tech, taking one for the road. There is a little bit of hope left. I've seen crazier comebacks in even higher ranks. It could be a kickoff goal and then a quick response, and it could be 4-4. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, gonna need to really line it up and be able to knock it down as well. That's a good 50 out, but Lazy is there to receive it. Phantom, downfield. Tech just absolutely smothered by Knight. And spend more time here in the orange half. if you're Winthrop, you got maybe 2 more good looks under your belt with a kickoff to try to get something going. You are able to erase the reversal of the scoreline from game 2, at least cut this lead back down to 2. Tech gonna put a shot on target, might be able to find the rebound, but no, all 3 go and find a way out. Knight, great read on that shot. Time starting to tick down here, and there's no 2-pointers in Rocket League. This one gonna go in favor of the Niners. They're going to be able to take this one back into 2-1 and put it on double match point. That one on 0 seconds will fall short of the goal line. UNCC come out with a big time response victory against Winthrop. Again, putting this one on double match point now. Winthrop need to win the next 2 straight. And UNC Charlotte showing again why they are the top dogs here for C3.
This is exactly what I wanted to see from the number 1 and number 2 seed. We have a slugfest, back and forth, back and forth. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I just want some more Rocket League. I want Winthrop to come out with a good response in game 4 and send us to game 5. I think Charlotte just, like you said in game 1, I keep going back to it, but it rings true time and time again. They just clawed their way back into the series. They're not even worried about getting smoked in game 2. They said, we'll smoke you in game 3. So it's up to Winthrop to really pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get themselves back into this series.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams at just kind of having a goldfish brain, right? They're able to just forget what happened the last game. They take it one game at a time. They're not paying too much attention to the series score line. Sometimes to their detriment. I've seen times where they end up trading games and then they don't come in absolutely locked in a game 5 and a team surprises them. We might be in store for that here with Winthrop because again, despite the score line with the loss for Winthrop, they still look really good. The same way that Charlotte got 4-1 and then came out and looked absolutely astounding in game 3. We'd not be surprised if we see a similar turnaround here for Winthrop, but this could be the last game in this week 1 matchup between the number 1, number 2 seed here. See if Winthrop's able to stand up to the task. And so far, they're tested early on defense and they come out the better for it.
Wow. Charlotte does not want this to go to game 5. They are absolutely sending the house, but Winthrop is doing well to get out of it. There was a team bump, but Phantom is able to bail his teammates out. They're sent 2. There's no boost for Berger in the back, but it should be safely away to the corner. Hopefully he's able to get it out. And he does well. Back to Tech, sending it back out, putting the pressure back on Charlotte. Pop up mid, no one's up. Phantom behind, could be a play. Tech goes up, could go mid. Try to make it awkward for Charlotte. Up, shot, saved away by Knight. The Charlotte defense is starting to come alive, not even blinking at the offense that Winthrop is throwing at them.
Usually Lazy is the one to seal games out and be that big defensive stopper, but early on in this game 4, Knight is the one to step up to the plate, and they are making great defensive plays time and time again here in the opening minute and 10 seconds of things, all the things of that. Those are how words work sometimes. But they're being tested, and Knight is coming out and making great defensive stops. And it's now Winthrop having to be put back on the defensive side of the ball. And in these early challenges, not coming out as quickly as Charlotte, starting to up the pace here, trying to seal the deal in game 4.
Absolutely. This is reminding me of game 1, where it's more poking and prodding. And I think it's going to be whoever hard peaks in this matchup. It's going to be that exclamation point that sends it over the line. I think it's got to be a solo play, maybe a passing play. Phantom shot, bar down and in. A little bit of help from the Charlotte team, but Berger to Phantom is a lineup that I would take every day of the week, and then an extra. Over the defense, bar down and in. That's what you like to see if you're a Winthrop fan. 1-0 in game 4.
That was one of the craziest first touches to go infield from Nakari that I think I've ever seen. It looked like it was going to be a catch back up sidewall. And I believe it was Lazy that was trying to shadow that and kind of predict where it was going to go, but it ends up going off the rear quarter panel of that Fennec and going straight into the hands of Phantom. A great play to set up the first goal here in game 4. This is Winthrop fighting for their week 1 lives against number 1 UNC Charlotte. They come out and strike first blood. Will UNC Charlotte be able to respond here? They got plenty on the clock to do so. It's going to be another defensive test here for the Niners. Go to the sidewall. Lazy can't find the touch. To go. No one back. Knight last to rotate in. Low boost gets bumped. Burger off the backboard, turning it into a three-man play. Winthrop find their cushion.
Winthrop doing well, responding even better, beating the last on defense, passing it off crossbar right to the teammate. That's what you like to see. I stand corrected. It's not going to be a solo play that breaks them. It's going to be finding your teammates. The passing plays for Winthrop are finding themselves. I'm hoping that Charlotte's able to get back into this game. I am worried about an overheat. I know you said Lazy tends to be the one to pop off and seal the deal. Maybe they try to do a little bit too much, but this is what I want to see from Bala. Maybe it's time to let him shine, but it's saved away well by Phantom. Tech does well to challenge in the midfield. No boost, but does not care. Burger challenging in the back line. Great pass out to Phantom. Unfortunately, no one is there to follow up. The pressure from Winthrop is really starting to make Charlotte awkward, as they've done in this game so far. But the speed from Charlotte's coming back out. Unfortunately, Knight is not able to get to that mid pass. Phantom down mid, over to Tech. Tech is up, no boost. Fake jump coming out from Winthrop, just trying to buy a little bit of time for their teammates. Burger up. Could it be a solo play? The one that I've always dreamed of. No. Tech goes up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, if you're Winthrop, you're staring up like Willem Dafoe in that meme. Unfortunately, is not able to go into the back of the net. Winthrop does well to break the pressure.
And finally, a little bit of a reprieve here for Charlotte. They're able to find it past one. Tech last back gets demoed. Last man rotating in, can't find the touch. He's going to be Lazy all the way down the pitch. A little bit of an assist there on the bodyguard play from Bala. They draw it up and they're able to find this one in the back of the net, trying to seal the deal here. You get the lead cut in half. 107 on the clock. See if they got something off the kickoff. Slightly favorable for Winthrop here. They get to take a little bit of time. Lazy able to close the gap on that play. It'll be Bala right into the hands of Tech. They're going to leave that one up for a teammate. Ball's going to linger a little bit. Knight is going to be the first to jump. Phantom reads it well. Lazy bumped on the back line. Might be a secure from Phantom. It is. And just like that, the 2-goal lead is back. And it's Phantom with the Hattie.
Winthrop is just linking up with one another. They're not afraid to stay upfield for just a half second longer, see if that pass is going to be sent up to them, and it is paying off. Charlotte looked like they were going to get their way back into the game with their aggression, but Winthrop is able to take it back, give them a nice buffer. A little bit of a double commit, though, coming out from Winthrop, but Tech is able to do well and buy time for his teammates. 30 seconds left in game 4 as Knight is able to send that one away to the corner, but Phantom is already up in the air. Lazy is overheating, freaking out a little bit. The pressure from Winthrop is building, and it is showing on the Charlotte players' sides. Lazy does well, though. Gets it mid. Should be a goal. Bala able to slot that one in the left side of the net. 2-3, 15 seconds, game 4.
Not over till it's over. UNC Charlotte, again, they know how to turn things up late game, and we're seeing it here. But the question is, will it be enough? 16 seconds and a kickoff. If something advantageous falls their way, will be, as Bala is back with boost, but going to be Burger first up and quick to it. Tech to keep it contained in the Charlotte half. Looking for a bump. Phantom looking for the dagger, and their fourth. Cannot find it. Kari puts it to the sidewall. This one going to bounce dangerously towards the Charlotte net. They're going to keep it up for the 0-second drill. Gosh. Charlotte has boost in the tank. Bala up out of the corner, trying to keep it alive. Nakari, great deflection off that back wall. Just have to ground it. We're going to keep it alive. Lazy keeps it up. One more pinch needed. Has to play it past Nakari off the pre-jump. Tech going to spike that down. We touch turf on 000s. Winthrop force the game 5, and who could have drawn it up better? The script is scripting right now. We got a game 5 between the number 1 and number 2 team to kick off week 1.
I mean, like you said, we couldn't have written the script any better. The only thing left to check off is a game 5 overtime. And as each match gets closer and closer together, that could be exactly what we're seeing. Winthrop in that 0-second minute drill, or the 0-second drill, is panicking a little bit. I saw a triple commit come out of there, and even though they were up, it seemed like they were desperate to get that ball out of their half. Charlotte, even when down, has that pressure on them. it wasn't enough. Winthrop was able to hold on and send us to a game 5.
We've been trading games, and they've been pretty outrageous score lines outside of that game one. So we'll see if we're in store for another game one affair where it's very tightly contested up until the last second, much like this one, or if it's going to be a blowout like game two and three. We'll get to see here as we have kickoff slated for game five between Charlotte and Winthrop. Man, I couldn't have asked for a better way to start week one of fall 2025 here for C3. New format, same excitement. We got kickoff game five, Champions Field. See who's going to be taking the week one victory.
It looks like the kickoff goes the way of Winthrop. Early pressure, the opposite of game 4. Charlotte does well to get it out. A bump out onto the Charlotte player, but they're able to keep it on the Winthrop half. Lazy starting to send it. He wants to be that standout player. He wants to have the dagger moment in this opening series. But it looks like Winthrop has all the pressure, could be open. Where's the shot? No one is there. But it could have been disastrous for Charlotte, and panic is starting to come out from both teams. Seeing double commits left and right, but Charlotte is the quicker to get control of their team, get back to their senses, and get a goal for that matter. Knight, good patience, lets his teammate go upfield for the bump. Winthrop not used to these high pressure situations. Charlotte is able to take advantage of that. This could be dangerous if you're a Winthrop fan.
Do not want Charlotte to get hot early in a game. We've seen Winthrop, they've been able to make things close enough, but they're not able to seal the deal. But game five brings different stakes. See if they're able to maybe flip the script here, as Charlotte going to be on the attack right off the second kickoff here for game five. Gonna be Bala, touch over one, but gets bumped off the play. Gonna be a free ball for Tech. Not the best touch to the sidewall, as Knight was waiting in the wings to receive that. Lazy, gonna be backwards, fake challenge. Phantom does not bite, tries the fake flick, ends up turning it into a pass over to Nakari, and just like that, Winthrop responds.
A great response from Winthrop too. Knows that Lazy's in an awkward situation, so gets a 50 right out to Burger, and Burger's able to put that one in a really awkward spot. Unsavable if you're a Charlotte player. We're back into the heat of it. It's 1-1 in game 5. I hope it stays 2-2, 1-1, but it looks like it's going to be 2-1. Hello? Might have leaked the script a little bit. It might have to be 2-2 if we want to see this overtime. Game 5, great pass out from Knight to Bala, and a little bit of help from Tech, but they did well to try to get it out. The crossbar is not their friend in this instance. 2-1, Charlotte up in game 5.
With a big kickoff here for Winthrop, it's going to bounce high. Will be Bala there. Flip reset on the top of the ball, was not able to corral that one back. Knight misplay, and a misflip from Nakari could have been the equalizer once more, but instead we play on. Gonna be Bala back out mid. Lazy gonna find that last little bit of a chip there on the ball, put it into their opposite corner. Great early challenge from Nakari. Phantom back mid. Bala getting bumped in net, does not matter. It might be a clean counter. They get the Goomba, and Bala does it all themselves. Defense to offense. Great transition here from Charlotte, getting that cushion right back. 3-1 the scoreline.
Winthrop is, it's like they're feeling that pressure. They have 3 minutes. They didn't need to send it there. They've been playing so well in this series, but the urgency is now going to be on, even more so than when it was just 2-1. Where are the passing plays that were helping them so much in the earlier games? As of now, they're nowhere to be seen. They're sending these challenges that just don't need to be sent, and it's caused them to go down 2. Good demo out from Tech. Could be a shot. Could be open. Bar down for Phantom. That is that pressure that you want to see if you're a Winthrop fan. Charlotte thought they were safe, but Tech says, no, no, no. Get out of my way. We are going to win this game 5. 3-2, Charlotte, game 5.
Phantom has been having a generational performance here to kick off week 1, and if Phantom's able to replicate this as the season goes on, Winthrop is going to be one of the scariest teams here for the fall. They already are looking like one, forcing Charlotte to a game 5, able to come up clutch in game 4 to get us here in the first place, but now you're in a 1v1. Can you deal with the pressure? Again, Phantom steps up big time. Challenge from behind. Puts a little bit of pressure there on Lazy. Balla to go solo play once more. Backboard looking for a double. Sets it up to Lazy. They go for a double. Knight comes in. Triple commit from Charlotte. Does not find the goal. Knight with a dribble. Wanted the quick cut in, but does not find the goal once more. Now ticking down to the final 2 minutes of play here. It's Winthrop still hunting for one on the board. Balla with possession, dunked out by Nakari. Lazy downfield, will find Balla. Back down to Knight. Knight gonna opt to play with some space, grab that boost, play it over the top of one. Tech not able to find it. Nakari finds it to the post. Phantom off the respawn, knock the rotate back in, and two stuck on the opposite side of net. And it's gonna be Charlotte capitalizing on a big defensive misplay, a rare one coming out from Winthrop off the early go. And it's going to be now back to a 2-goal lead here for the Niners.
One thing we do know about Winthrop is they are quick to respond, and that is exactly what they are going to need if they want to have a chance at a game, overtime, or a win. And that's exactly what they do. Phantom right to Berger off the kickoff. The pressure from Winthrop is there, still clawing their way back, bearing resemblance to Charlotte themselves. 4-3 in this game 5. This is exactly what I wanted to see from them. It seems like that underdog mentality is finally starting to play a factor. They really don't have anything to lose. They're the 2 seed. They're taking on the big bad, and they're starting to believe just a little bit. Minute and a half left could be huge for them, but it could be open. Great by Berger to get it out of danger, but Knight almost makes a read on that. Off the post, not the sound you want to hear if you're a Charlotte fan. That could have been 5-3, but Winthrop does well to keep it to 4. Now Lazy off the ceiling, trying to be the star player we know that he is, to Balla, and bang! Could that be the dagger for Charlotte against Winthrop? 5-3.
Right now, Winthrop is struggling. They get the response goal, but they can't find the equalizer. They're not able to find 2 in a row. And Charlotte doing so well that after they concede, they put that pressure right back on. They kill a bunch of time off the clock, inevitably go back up by 2. That might have been a third, but a great save coming out by Tech. Knight looking to punch in a third, fakes it, it's down below. Balla is able to knock that one through, and Charlotte with their largest lead of the game here in crunch time, under a minute to go. 6-3 now, and that hill becomes even steeper for Winthrop to try to climb their way back in. Kickoff once more. See if Winthrop has something drawn up. We get a hard cheat, does not pay out. The Phantom with a full tank of boost in the skies. The player that you want to have the ball in their hands here for Winthrop to go on the challenge. Be a little bit risky for Winthrop. Knight puts a shot on target, clear downfield, but Lazy staying back, playing safety, puts the pressure right back on off the solo effort. The Phantom to the skies, has a little bit more boost to work with. Flip reset, tries to play it low, fakes the Tech, and Tech gonna put a 4 on the board, cut this back down to 2, but now the time becomes a factor.
1 goal in 15 seconds, another goal in 15 seconds, 16. I'll be generous. I want an overtime. This has been an insane game, and Winthrop still will not go away. It's going to be a long shot, but you know, I think this is the team to do it. We just need to make sure that no one overheats, no one overcommits, but the pressure is on. You have to go now. You have to send it. Unfortunately, gets beat. Balla able to ball around 2. I think that's a fake for a teammate. There, Lazy saved away by Berger. Knight tries to keep the pressure on. This has to be it for Winthrop, and there's no time. Balla has possession of that, and it looks like Charlotte will take this series, and what a series it was. Absolutely beautiful gameplay from both teams, deserving of the number 1 and number 2 seeds. Wow. I wow. I'm speechless. That was a stunning display of Rocket League and exactly what I wanted to see from the opening series.
Yeah, wow is the right word for that series. Game 5 is not what I expected, but Winthrop proved me wrong. This was a full strength UNC Charlotte team. They came out and off the backs of a phenomenal performance from Phantom, they were able to keep this one tight. Again, UNC Charlotte, they know how to ice out series. They know how to ice out games. Does not surprise me that they took the game 5 victory, but what does surprise me is that we got to game 5 in the first place. Number 1 and number 2 seeds deservingly. We get to see just more action as the week goes through. And I think we got word from our production. We're gonna have player interviews, so we get some words from the boys who were just on the pitch. So we're gonna throw it to a brief break. And we got Knight up first. Actually, no break. I don't think we are going to a break. Are we ready for just an interview straight in? Okay, we're gonna take a break, get everything all set up. But we got Knight coming up for UNC Charlotte to talk about the win. So we'll be right back. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. We have Knight from UNC Charlotte just took the game 5 victory against number 2 Winthrop, still the number 1 overall team here for the C3 to kick off fall 2025. Knight, how you feeling after the win, man?
It's feeling good. It was definitely a more stressful series than it should have been. We had issues with Bala getting in last minute. He was working, so he just got home, got on the PC. He didn't really get much time to warm up.
Yeah.
So it was the start was a little funky, but eventually game 5. Once it gets a lot of times when it gets to game 5, we're just a team that for some reason always goes to game 5 or game 7, and we've done it so much now that like the nerves kind of just like go away. Like we get used to it. So that's honestly kind of our environment. Even though a lot of times, a lot of series should just be more sweeps. We've gotten really used to it, even when things tend to get really close.
Yeah, you guys are definitely a team that knows how to provide content for whatever series you're playing. Whatever the stakes are, you guys know how to make it a really good one. But again, congratulations on the win. But I kind of the first thing going into this for me was how much of it was an impact over the summer. You guys losing to Winthrop in the national championship bracket for CCS, and how much of this was kind of a all right. We're gonna get our lick back for week 1 of C3.
Oh, it was no, that was a big thing. Cause yeah, CCS. It was really unfortunate. We had to bring in a sub. I actually had to go. I was on vacation. I had to go find an esports lab, which was like in the middle of nowhere, to play the match. So it was already not looking too good. But we wanted to do that rather than just forfeit. We wanted to play the series. So we went out, we did it. Even though we lost, I think it was again another like game 5, last game, like
Yeah.
1 2 goal game. So even with that, with how close it was then, we knew coming in now we were definitely the better team. Not to throw any shade or anything, but with someone on their team who had under 100 points for almost half of every game, we knew as long as we locked in, we definitely had it. And I know they're a new roster too. Um, we've been playing slightly longer now, still getting kind of sorting out some kinks and things like that. But we're once we start getting into the flow and are able to get scrims before our games, get good practice in. With the season starting up and things are very hectic, it can be a little weird. But once we kind of get that ball rolling, it's smooth sailing for us. So
Yeah, and I mean, you guys played some competition over the summer, right? So you're not like fully just this is the first time you're picking up the controller since
mhm.
last spring, but kind of what has been the prep to start to ramp you guys up now for the fall? Because like now you guys are a varsity program, you guys are going to be kind of have a little bit more spotlight on you nationally and not just here for C3. But how have you guys kind of been ramping up to get back to that top end level of play that we've seen from you guys before?
Yeah, so for varsity, it's been kind of a weird transition. We're almost pretty good into it now because some leagues we still play under the club, some leagues are under varsity, but a lot of the tournaments now are varsity. So like DreamHack is probably going to be varsity. A lot of the big tournaments that we travel to are going to be more varsity. Um, but we actually are just starting up this week. This is like the first week. We have all our teams sorted, so it's gonna start now, even though it's been a few weeks of school already. Is when we're really starting to pick up. Um, but it's been great. The transition has been good. It's really nice now. Not having to get everyone together, find Airbnbs, get all the travel stuff sorted. It's nice now that we have a program that supports us and is doing that all for us now. It takes a lot of the pressure off us. Um, so it's definitely very nice, and having a set schedule for practices, a nice arena now, a really nice arena to practice in has been, it's been great. So the varsity program has definitely done a great job at elevating us to the next level. and even collegiately. Like I think last like year was by far one of our best years. We did great in CRL qualifiers.
Mhm.
We definitely could have gone farther in CCS. We took C3 again, which now at this point it just feels like we are, everyone wants someone else to win C3 now. But we're gonna do our best. Try and make it a four-peat. We'll see. But it's been nothing but uphill. Like our team has shown incredible growth over the course of this past 2 semesters. So I'm super excited to see how this year is going to turn out for us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out for you guys too. I'm glad that you guys are getting the support. You guys are definitely, some of the players that deserve that support because your ceiling's so high. Not to put too much glaze on UNC Charlotte because I'm 10 minutes down the road from y'all, but I appreciate what y'all have gone through as a club. I appreciate the school now backing you guys and getting that support. So it's awesome to hear that it's going great. I'm really looking forward to the rest of C3. I'm not going to take too much of your evening away from you, but before we go on to our next match, do you have any shout outs, any thank yous, anything you want to get out there before we wrap things up here?
Oh yeah, of course. Always shout out to my family first, my mom, my dad, my family that always watches and supports me. I see them in the chat. They're always rooting for me, cheering me on. That's like one of the biggest motivations for me is seeing my friends and family, how supportive they are. So then obviously my teammates, Ball and Lazy, great guys. I really do enjoy playing with them. I think we've got great chemistry and we're gonna be able to go the mile. And lastly, just all the boys at Charlotte. Big man, our old coach. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him as a coach now, but he's still helping us out. He's very supportive, and everyone else here too in the community at Charlotte Varsity and the club has been they've helped us get this far. So shout out to them.
Yeah, big shout outs. And again, congrats on the win. Looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes. If this is you guys just still warming up, you guys are going to be a dangerous team. So again, congrats. Thank you for coming up on stream. Thank you for coming up for an interview. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Coming up next, we got UNCW versus Clemson. Before we throw to break, I want to put you in the hot seat. Prediction here.
Oh wait, you asked. Okay, if you could still hear me. Wait, who's playing?
Uh, yeah,
UNCW
UNCW and
Clemson.
Clemson.
Um, I'm gonna have to go with Clemson.
Ooh.
If it's the same roster, I'm going with the boys from Clemson.
Okay. You heard it here. Knight taking Clemson. Again, thank you, Knight. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back with our second game of the slate here for week 1.